Today, experts around the world are debating whether another recession is looming. Recession is a word that we've all probably heard before, and what follows often is the fear of the unknown. The good news is that recession doesn't have to hurt your finances, but to be prepared, it's best you understand the theory behind what it means for an economy and how you can turn this to your advantage. So let's see what a recession is. Contrary to popular belief, economies are not always growing at a steady pace. In fact, economic performance can fluctuate from one period to another. But this doesn't mean we are in a recessionary environment. So, what then is a recession? Put simply, when an economy declines for 2 consecutive quarters, then it's regarded as a technical recession. But generally, it is identified by 2 successive quarters experiencing a fall in GDP. So, what's the cause of a recession? When an economy hits a period of prolonged expansion, inflation can rise. And at some point, the economy will have no more room for growth in its current cycle. Hence, it hits a peak. As prices rise, demand from consumers will fall, causing businesses to start cutting their production and reducing employment. This cascading effect on higher unemployment and a reduction in consumer demand, followed by businesses scaling down, is what ultimately leads to an economic recession. Now, here is one thing that has a significant impact on an economy: the forces of supply and demand. Take for instance, when there is a high demand for a specific asset, the price for this asset will rise and may even skyrocket. The more buyers believe that the value of the asset will continue rising, the price will continue to rise. And sooner or later, buyers or investors will realize that the price has been driven up too high and then make a sell-off, which will cause a sharp drop in the value of the asset. This is similar to what happened in the 2008 mortgage crisis. The derivative market underlying home mortgages were thought to be bulletproof until it was found that a significant number of mortgage holders couldn't pay their debts. The reason behind this could take a whole video in itself to discuss, but overall, it can be attributed to rising interest rates, inaccurate ratings of the underlying bonds, and irresponsible lending. This caused massive defaults in mortgages and a collapse in the housing and financial market almost overnight. So let's talk about the concept of recession cycles. While business cycles can be predicted to some degree, their duration and magnitude cannot. Over time, a variety of business cycles have brought recessions to varying degrees. 2001 post-dot-com recession was short, lasting only 8 months, following a quick rise in the internet-based businesses. On the flip side, the Great Depression in the United States was devastating, lasting about 10 years and creating 25% unemployment in the country. So, based on historical business cycles, markets are already long overdue for a recession. On the average, the global economy is in expansion for just over 3 years in each cycle. But today, the economy has been in economic expansion for over 9 years, which is a significant period given the general business cycle. The latest recession was over a decade ago, meaning it's not unreasonable to think another recession is waiting in the wings. Another possible cause of a recession is geopolitics. Britain's exit from the European Union has brought to the surface fears for more countries venturing out on their own and ultimately breaking the balance of power in the region. In the United States, President Donald Trump continues to trade war tactics with nations like China. The global economy is suffering. Trump has already instituted a 25% tariff on $200 billion of Chinese goods exported to the US and has shown no signs of backing down. So, how is Bondora preparing for a recession? First off, every lending decision at Bondora is determined by our proprietary credit modeling system. Taking into account 1,000 of data points, we can accurately assess the risk of any given borrower. And once we issue a loan, we collect data on every single transaction and use this to improve our models. Furthermore, in the past decade, we've operated in recessionary environments in Spain and Finland and collected first-hand data on customer payment behaviors. Overall, this has helped us improve our credit analytics, so our risk assessments are well prepared for a larger recessionary environment. So, here is something to think about. Recessions aren't all bad. For those who can anticipate a recession, there is money to be made. This makes it extremely important to not panic during a recession. By playing it cool, you can often find ways to make money in these times. One notable figure who has always seemed to find a way to make money during recession is Warren Buffett. Buffett noted that the key to coming out on top during a recession is to be fearful when others are greedy, and to be greedy when others are fearful. Following the most recent recession in 2008, Buffett used his stockpiles of cash to buy assets which he felt were undervalued. This proved to be extremely profitable for the financial guru, as he was able to benefit from a market that scared others away. The question then is, do you need as much money as Warren to make money in a recession? Well, definitely not. Rather, make sure to do your homework and anticipate what assets might become undervalued when economies are in a downtrend. Doing so will allow you to leverage your knowledge to get positive returns when others are fearful of the markets. And that's it from me. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on more interesting topics like this in the future. Thanks for watching, keep investing, and bye for now.